Okay, welcome to the basic license tutorials in setting up the software, coursesales.com, to enable you to take enrollments and to process those enrollments. We've already had tutorials about how to navigate around coursesales.com. We've already had tutorials about setting up your options, which includes things like setting up locations, qualifications, course modules, which are the units of competency, and also the branch. We've also talked about setting up the courses, so setting up the formats, setting up the course masters, which are like the templates of your courses, and also setting up course dates and adjusting the terms and conditions on your courses. So now what we're going to do, after doing also the emails and the PDFs, we're actually going to start taking some enrollments. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to start adding enrollments. By this point, hopefully, you've reviewed your fields and your forms, and you've let us know if you need any adjustments to those, or you've made the adjustments yourself and made sure that you've published the forms to ensure those changes on any fields are taken through to the forms that are made public. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start adding in some documents now. We're also going to show you how to apply a new step to a document. We're also going to show you how to investigate what happens at a particular step and maybe do some troubleshooting as well. So let's see if we can do a bit of that now. So let's log in as Sarah into our license. And you can see here, like I say, this is our list of documents. Remember, documents are enrollments. So we've got a couple in there because they arrived in there when we were doing some practice. They're set up for the Diploma of Business. We also know we've got another course master, or a couple of course dates actually set up. Those course dates are related to the first aid training course. So look, let's say, for example, someone contacts you and phones you up and says, hey, look, I'm really interested in a course. What have you got? Well, the first thing we'd do is we'd click on our course dates. Okay, our course dates are going to list the training courses that we have scheduled. So in this case, we have a Diploma of Business course coming up in New South Wales on the 30th of September. We've also got a first aid course, including first CPR, on the 30th of September. And there may be other dates as well we have listed, and we can use our filter on the right-hand side here to have a look at what those courses are if we have multiple locations, multiple course types, or multiple dates. So if we want to add someone into it, I just click here on this green plus button here. So I'm just going to add someone to the first aid, including CPR training course. So click on the green plus button. This is going to give me the option of selecting a past customer if any exist, and the likelihood is that none are going to exist. But if they did, you click on the lightning bolt or type in the name, and there'd be an automatic search to find that person. If that's correct, that'll basically enter all that data that you have on that customer into the form, which is pretty handy. So let's choose a document type. We're going to go for a registration. I'm going to click on add, and here we go straight into the form. So you can see here we've got the details of the course that we're enrolling on. We've got the start date of the course set up. We've also got the workflow set up here. We've got doing a registration. I'm not going to be sending emails, but if I wanted to, I could click on that to send the emails. Now I'm going to enter a name. Let's say Scott Spence. We know he's going to be keen on a course. And so I might just have a few details there. I'll include his phone number and maybe his email address as well. Now I'll gather as many details as I can, I guess. Enter them in here, including address, street number, name, etc. There is an option here. If I want to change it from registration, I can actually choose invitation to register. So this would actually send an invitation to this individual to complete their registration, which is pretty handy. But I'm doing a registration. I might want to fill out all these details. Remember here, you can type in just a postcode, and then automatically it will fill in the details of the suburb, state, and postcode down the bottom there. We can take in unique student identifier details. Now at this registration point, if I fill in unique student identifier details, these are going to go off and be verified. And then if they're incorrect, then the student's going to be emailed directly and asked to correct those details. So it'll check on the USI, the date of birth, and the first name and last name of the student. There's a bit of other information in here, government information, government required information that enables you to do your event reporting. So you want to gather that information too. And of course here we've got the terms and conditions, and we've got some hidden fields here which usually stay pretty constant. There's not too much of a change there. this field here gets updated as the USI gets validated. So you see additional information here regarding the USI status as things go along. Okay, so if I click on add, this will add the details to the enrollment. And you can see it starts off being just an inquiry. And the reason why that is because it changes from being an inquiry to an actual registration on the right-hand side once we've got a USI verified. So the moment we don't have the USI verified, we can look at the documents. So I can view all the documents on this particular course by clicking on this button here, just to the right of the green plus. And this is the enrollment that I've got here. It's a registration, but it hasn't yet had the USI verified. So let's just go into this and see what else we can do. I'll click on the edit button here. If I click on edit, you can see here I've now got an option to select a number of different steps as well. Now, if I wanted to, for example, if the course had been completed, I wanted to send a statement of attainment, I could choose to do that. Now, when I do that, I can actually work out what's happening. So what's going to happen when I apply this step, send statement of attainment? You can do that by clicking on this magnifying glass with the plus sign. Okay, it's not available when you do an initial registration, but it is available at this point. We can click on the preview, and it's actually going to tell us. So it's going to tell us, right, this is the process rule we're going to apply, and the process rule defines what happens here. This is the email that's going to be sent. If we want to, we can even have a look at that email, clicking on the magnifying glass there. As you can see here, this is the email we edited earlier. It's got details of the subject, details in the email body, and we can see what's going to be included, and that information is going to be substituted as the email gets sent. We can also see that we've got a PDF attachment as well. So this is the attachments. There's going to be no files, but there is going to be an email PDF attached to that, which is useful. It's going to be sent to the student, and it's going to come from the branch. Okay, so remember, if you want to edit any of those details around the branch, then you should be doing it at the branch, in the branch option. So if I wanted to apply this, maybe I don't want to actually send it via email. I'm planning on printing it off for the student because they're coming in. I can click on save or apply. And now that step has been applied, it's going to be recorded in the workflow history. And you get to the workflow history by clicking on this magnifying glass up here to the left. Click on that, and you can see here we've had a registration step, and then we're sending a statement of attainment. Okay, so and both has been applied by Sarah. You can see and when they did it as well. You've got the timing and everything that it was done. Now, I might want to have a download of that PDF, that statement of attainment. So I'll click on that magnifying glass with a plus sign. Did you see that there? Click on the magnifying glass with a plus sign on this particular status and this particular step that's been applied. And I've got an icon there, which is a PDF icon. So if I click on this PDF icon, I can get the statement of attainment details. Okay, so I can download the PDF to my local computer. I can also see what happened, what was applied here. So it would have been that an email would have sent, but in this case we might be able to find out. Let's click on the magnifying glass to the left of that. It'll actually tell us what happened. Right, so here it says this action was taken at 11:58 a.m. The time processed was 11:58:23, so it took me 23 seconds. 23 seconds to actually process it. But look, no emails were sent, but exports were processed. Okay, exports processed mean things like contacts are created or USIs are sent for verification, those sorts of activities. But we know for a fact that in this case, emails were not sent because there is no action associated with them. So this is pretty useful for us to be able to get here. Okay, so the other thing we've got to do is we've got to make sure that we read the instructions. The instructions here tell us what's going to happen in this workflow, and there's even in this case a link to some guidance. So if I hold down my control key, it's going to open up another window, and you can see here it takes us straight to updating the outcomes for a unit, which is pretty important. So that needs to be done. And the units are created at the point that a USI is verified, so you'll be able to do that then. And that's done right at the bottom here when we have document topics. So if you don't have any document topics down here, the reason is the USI has not been verified. Okay, so once the USI is verified, then those topics get created, and it stops you from sending statements of attainment without having a USI verified, which is against the regulations for an RTO. So that's pretty much it as far as adding documents, applying steps, and getting a bit of an understanding of what's happened. I also showed you how to download PDF. So just be sure that you've practiced that a bit. You may have documents that arrive in magically. Now they're coming from your website. They're coming from your WordPress plugin. And they'll appear here. And in fact, if you do send out an invitation for people to enroll, then it's likely that they will be enrolling others as well. And so others might be clicking on their links and creating documents, which are the enrolments on that particular course, which is pretty handy. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope you have fun adding in documents. Feel free to contact us. Feel free to use these help menus up here, particularly the chat icon, or using the wizards to do common things. And of course, you can go back to your history of items or even raise a ticket for us to address for you. So lots of help there, lots of assistance for you. Thanks very much. Talk to you again soon. Cheers, bye.